Hi. All right, I'm live on YouTube as well. So you can go to YouTube if you want. All right, so our topic today is subtle signs of control while dating. Hi, Vuex. You're welcome. Our barista in the house. Fadima, hi, welcome. Okay. I'm seeing somebody's request and I can't see the name, it's just a dot. So please, can you let us know in the comment section if it's a woman or a man? Exactly, Rugred. Okay, okay. Karib, hi.
Hello.
Maria, hi, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for bringing me up. I'm from Ethiopia. I
Okay.
just wanted to come here and say that I am honestly so proud of you, and I'm so proud of all the women, African women, who are finally unpacking and doing the work to get rid of patriarchy. And I have been watching your content. I have been liking. I have been sharing. I have been commenting.
Oh,
This is
thank
not
you.
my account.
Yeah.
I don't have an official TikTok account. This is account that I share with a relative of mine.
Okay.
So I don't really speak too much on here.
Okay.
But I just wanted to come up and just say that honestly, I think it makes me so proud to see that there are so many women. And I think that you are based in Nigeria right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's quite sad because when I try to have these conversations with the women from my country and my culture, because like most cultures, African cultures, it's very what's the word, patriarchal. It's very male centered, and you talk about that quite often. And the issue is when you try to have conversations with women about this, they look at you like you are like saying something blasphemous, right? Like you are going against traditions, you are going against the religion, you're going against, like our ancestors and everything they fought for. And they look at you like you are the enemy, and they will say, oh, you are trying to preach something to us that you have learned from online, from white people and stuff. And I'm like, it's not just white people, it's African women. Look at this African woman. She's speaking like this, the same way that I'm speaking. We should listen to her as well. But honestly, it makes me so sad because it's like the majority of us African women, it doesn't matter whether we are East African, North African, West African, we all have pick me syndrome. It's a disease that we all carry with us.
Yeah.
And some of us will take this disease to our grave. And because of this disease, honestly, it leads so many of our grandmothers and our mothers to early grave. This disease is very like dangerous and it's very contagious because we spread it to our daughters, our granddaughters, and the women around us. So it makes me so sad that it's that many of us will not cure ourselves from these diseases, and prevent our daughters from also like being inflicted with these horrid diseases. But honestly, I'm so proud of you. I just wanted to say that just continue to do the work. I know that you get a lot of setbacks. I can imagine the amount of hate that you get from the men. But I just want to say, honestly, I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for bringing me on here.
All
Thank
right.
you. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Thank you. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Blossom. Aisha, welcome. Is it my lipstick or the whole of the makeup that you want? Ola, unmute your mic. It was Ola that introduced this topic, so she's going to start to talk. and then the live is just going to be on for like an hour 30 minutes. I don't want to be live for like 4 5 hours like I used to do anymore. After the live I get too exhausted for my liking. Thank you, Aisha. I just added lip gloss on it now. It's just a regular drugstore purple lipstick. Hola. You guys, we are going to put hands together and beat Ola on this live one day. Thank you, Aisha. Thank you, Dolapo. All right, so we are talking about subtle signs of control while dating. Ola is dating AI, obviously. Vanusia baby, hi. You're welcome. You're welcome. But before we start, let me just tell you guys something that I believe that the whole concept of somebody leading you, somebody, so you're submitting to somebody, or somebody leading you in general, I believe that it is control. So, and I believe that that sets a precedent for any other form of control, any other form of abuse. So that's why you see I argue with a lot of yeah, that's why I argue with a lot of religious women, because of religion they just cannot get this out of their heads, right? So it's difficult to explain. Yeah, it's difficult to explain to a religious woman that a woman submitting to her husband is an act of abuse, right? I saw a post yesterday where a lady was like, divorce rates are becoming so alarming. And a guy commented and he was like, a guy commented, thank you, Emma. A guy commented and he was like, um, that if only women stop seeing every quarrel, every misunderstanding as abuse, then marriages will stop stop breaking or something like that. And it was really funny to me that he said that. I'm like, with men, it's like everything just passes over their heads. You can see a man coming close to getting the point, but for some reason it's like he dodges it. And that's why I believe, and I say this all the time, that I believe that men have arrested development. So there's something in their heads that sort of, men are even more than on serious. Vanusia, I believe they have suffered development arrest. They are not fully developed, because Ola sent me a video of Sam Adeyemi the other day, and this man was like, "Oh, he pities women," and I was like, "Okay, let me hear what he has to say." Considering Sam Adeyemi is by standard of education, he's a very intellectually sound person. So I was like, let me hear what he has to say. So he was talking about submission, and he was like, if you, yeah, mental musings with Mimi said, I think there are not enough divorces considering how men behave in marriages. I personally feel this divorce rates are going to even skyrocket even more in the future. And I would be here, like, I love it. I would love to hear it self. Well, while people are thinking that's like some sort of a bad news or one alarming, I personally think it is good news for women, honestly. The fact that women can divorce men is because they have a voice now, and that's women standing up for themselves. So men have been divorcing women for centuries. Hope you guys know. The way they are saying it as if divorce is just, exactly, education does not mean shit with men, oh. Especially considering the fact that women they started complaining about divorces when women started asking for a divorce. But men have been divorcing women for centuries, and it was never a problem. It was never a problem. In certain religions,
I'm
like
eating plantain.
you said,
So I'm eating plantain chips, so you're gonna be hearing my mouth doing crack, crack, crack.
that's okay.
That's what I like to snack on after making out with my boyfriend.
So Sam Adeyemi was like he pities women because whenever the life for them is like driving and sitting at the passenger seat and the man is driving you, that and submission is like, even when the man is trying to enter a ditch, ordinarily what you're supposed to do is to fight him or quarrel or try to turn the wheel steering away from him entering the ditch. But that's not the godly thing to do. So what's like the godly or the right thing to do is to go to somebody who is above the man. That's to go to God in prayer. So you go and pray that this man does not throw you into the ditch, and that includes your children. And I like the fact that he says that. I'm just hoping that maybe that will, yeah, while inside the car. So I'm just hoping that that would sort of do something for Christian women to be like, oh, this is wrong. But the fact that they take that information in and they chew it. Exactly, regret. I was like, I'm out of that car. I will step out of that car. There's nothing tying me into remaining with that man in the car. So when we tell women that submission is dangerous and they argue, I'm like, these men are telling you that submission is dangerous. They are telling you just go and find a good man to submit to. Sam Adeyemi is a good man, Abi.
You know, a lady commented, I don't know if she's on this slide, but when I stitched that video, a lady commented on it and she was like, oh, this reminds me of the story you shared. I found the thing saying, which story did I share? She said, the story you shared during your life. I didn't even remember. I now asked her, which story? I didn't even know that I shared this on a live. She now said I shared that this analogy actually happened to me in real life, where I was in the car with my ex. He was driving, and I could tell that the person driving on the opposite direction that was now facing us was distracted. You know how people drive sometimes in Nigeria where they are trying to dodge pothole and they will face the wrong lane for a moment, like for a second, to dodge that pothole and then get back in the right lane.
Yeah.
But me, I could tell that that wasn't what this guy was doing. This guy was distracted and we were gonna have a head-on collision. And I was telling my ex, I was like, swerve to the right, swerve to the right. This guy is gonna hit us. But in his own mind, he thought the guy was just dodging a pothole or something, that he was gonna cause correct. But me, I just knew that that's not what's happening here. This person, I think, is distracted. And he refused to listen to me, and we had that head-on collision. We were on our way to church on a Sunday morning. The guy was in the car with his friends too. I guess they were also going to church. They were gisting and that. So the person was distracted. He was driving at full speed because he thought he was on his lane. So it was a serious head-on collision. My daughter was like a year plus then in the back. I mean, if she wasn't in a car seat, or if he was, I used to really insist on my kids using car seats in Lagos. Everybody thought I was just, fancy pants or something. But if that day I was just like, you know what, it's just church we are going, the roads are not busy, let me just carry her in my arms and sit in the passenger seat. Only God knows how terribly hot she would have been. She could have flown out of my hands or something. But she was in the back in a car seat. she still sustained a little injury, like just a minor bruise. But she was so shaken up that she was crying seriously. And even me, like when I got out of the car, I couldn't even find I couldn't find my shoes. That was how terrible it was. Like I got out of the car like bare with one leg of shoe. And at that time, I was pregnant. I was still in my first trimester, but I was pregnant with my second. So this thing that is sharing like an analogy that is it, it was when that lady commented, that was when I was like, wow, I didn't even realize that I shared this story with people on when we had those 2-day lives. And I just thought about it again that it could have been terrible. I could have lost the pregnancy. My daughter could have been badly injured. I mean, when we got home that day, we still went to church anyway. Because someone from church came to get me and my daughter while the ex-husband kind of stayed at the scene to deal with the mess. It's kind of funny that it wasn't even a question of whether we'll still go to church. We still went to church. And I was the one ministering that day. I was the one giving the word ministration that day. So when we got home later that day, I had to take painkillers and give my daughter to like painkiller syrup just for us not to wake up the next day with body pains and stuff. But this stuff is dangerous. Now I know that he only used that as an analogy, but
it
just
happens.
to think of the fact that it happened to me. And this guy had enough time to just like swerve to the right, like to the far. I don't know how to describe it. Like if you are driving on a tarred road, there are some roads that if you want to park by the side of the road, you will get off the tarred road ahead. So that was what I meant by, go to the right here and just park, or let's just leave this lane that we are on. And that thing could have been avoided.
And after that incident, right? Women will not even be allowed to express themselves to say, I told you so.
Do you know that when I was telling our stupid pastor, the pastor was like, my sister, don't say that. It would even have been worse. It's just better the way, he just stayed calm and stayed on that lane. I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm telling you, women, especially religious women, till these men buy you, the men around you, the other men around you will be telling you, oh, don't worry, it's not that serious. They are going to minimize the danger you are in. Not because they hate you or anything. They just...
It's in their unconscious programming to be loyal to the patriarchy. Let me just say. So, if you had reversed the situation and you were the one driving, that pastor would not have the same thing to say. So it's just a default setting to lean towards yes, if she was the one, they would have used preaching to finish her. They would tell you how you should have listened to your husband. That, in fact, they will use it to preach in church. Hi B, that's true. Even me, I've not really been consistent with coming live. Welcome. If it was you now, they would tell you, they can even use it as example to teach women how to be submissive. That, oh, this person, her husband said so and she refused to listen and they had an accident. And that is what lack of submission causes. They would come to church and say that. Okay. So now that we've trashed that out of the way, we are going to be talking about subtle signs of control before marriage.
Well,
before
I'm not
while
going to
dating?
start that until somebody tells me that me too, my picture is beautiful.
Your picture is very beautiful.
No, it's not from you, because you need me to discuss the topic. I want
I
the
don't need you
viewers
to
to
discuss
say
the topic. I'm just telling you that you're
I want
beautiful.
them to tell me that I am beautiful. They like my natural look, even as I'm not wearing makeup, even as my lips are looking pretty just with ordinary Vaseline, and my braids is looking, yeah.
They've
Thank
even
you.
told you that your picture is
Thank
looking
you.
gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you. So that is a no. What I just did now for me is a red flag in a man. Is a sign of control.
Yeah.
When they are desperate to put the spotlight on themselves. I don't know if people caught that.
Yeah.
If you are with this person in public, right, and people are putting a spotlight on you for whatever reason, it doesn't even matter what it is. If they are like, oh, I'm so proud of you, you graduated school, or oh, whatever it is that people are putting a spotlight on you for. Thank you, Gary babe. People are putting a spotlight on you, and that person just does something or says something or quickly changes the subject to put the spotlight on themselves. You know, it's so subtle. I feel like women don't notice it.
Yeah. Please, let's like the life. Let's like the life, please, so that we inform other people that we're alive. Go on, Ella.
See the way I just did it now that it was so smooth, right? Even might make some people laugh. And it was just this Ola, she's just so funny, right? That's how it goes unnoticed when a man does it. Because they do it in a way that even if a lady notices it and wants to tell somebody that, did you see what he just did? They will be like, it's all in your head, right? Because, I mean, it just wouldn't look like something they did maliciously. You will sound paranoid. You won't even want to share it with another person because you yourself, you won't be sure. You'll be like, am I just being jealous for nothing? Or am I imagining things? Right? Anyway, I just like that the fact that I was able to test that on people. And you see the way everybody was just shifted to me and they were like, oh, Allah, you are beautiful, you are this. That's how it happens. And it becomes really hard to decipher, did this person do it on purpose or it was just a coincidence? You know, it becomes really hard to tell until it becomes pattern. Like, it's hard to tell from just one incidence of it, right?
And some form of control and abuse, right? Some of them are even things that you may not even know that is what it is, because looking at it at that time, right, at that particular moment, it is at that particular time, it is it looks normal, right? But most of the time, women realize that this thing was actually abusive when they look at it after everything is done and they are seeing it in hindsight.
Yeah.
That's when you realize that was not normal, actually. But those are patterns those are things that normal people can do. People who it's not even necessarily about control, they can still do it.
Yeah. It could just mean that the person has a low self-esteem, but it does not necessarily make them abusive.
Yes.
Right? So that's why even people that teach about abuse and stuff, they will say, oh, it has to be a pattern. just because this person did this thing one time.
Hmm.
And they are talking about emotional abuse, not
Yeah.
physical.
Hmm.
I'm not saying if somebody slaps you just one time, it's not abuse. They are talking about quote and unquote non-physical abuse. That when you see those things happen, if it happens once, it doesn't necessarily mean it's emotional abuse. But when you start noticing a pattern, it happens once, twice, 3 times, then there's something there.
User 2747754142244. What's your gender? Are you a woman or a man?
Or non-binary.
Okay. Okay.
So
I only
yeah.
Your gender is enough because we don't accept men on the panel. That's why I wanted to be sure. Okay, let's hear out before we continue.
Hello, thanks so much for actually having me.
You're welcome. Hi.
Yes, so what I wanted to add about abuse is that from my own experience in my marriage, a lot of things are so insidious, in the way that a man may not be physical, but and it could be at an intersection of culture. And what I mean is that in my own experience, what I've seen is that in my own marriage, I've been married for 10 years. My husband was born and raised there. And what I can say is that I feel like I've been abused in the sense of abuse of my own mental labor, my own physical labor in my home. And he's so used to it because I think he grew up with it that it's so hard to explain that this is abusive. It's abusive if I work, we both work, but I'm doing 95% of everything. I'll even say 100% of making my home run. That's abusive. It's abuse, and frankly, it's very difficult to explain that to somebody when that's what they're used to. And so if I say I want to leave my marriage or leave this situation, or if I say to his family, hey, your son is treating me bad, they don't understand. So what do? There may not be cheating that you know of, there may not be physical abuse, but when it's like you yourself are running the home and they're just sitting there after work, and it's been like that for years, and you don't have anybody to turn to, right? Because culturally for them, they don't understand. What do you do? Because I'm at that point where, to me, I feel like I'm being abused. It's in that sense, I don't have, I'm not gaining anything from this marriage because, again, I work, I contribute. Our wedding, I contributed to. I paid 50%. I paid for my own ring. I paid all of the, I don't want to say all of the bills, but I want to say about 50% of the bills I paid when we got married. And then it's like the first thing he does when he gets, his money better, he goes and builds a house in Nigeria without telling me. That's abuse.
Yeah.
And the whole family knew, except for me. It's an abuse.
Okay.
So
have you been on any of our lives before?
yes.
Okay.
Oh, no. This is the first time I've been added. No.
Okay, but have you seen any of my content or Ola's content before?
I've seen your content, yes.
Okay, so I just want you to know that on this space here, we are pro-divorce. So I'm not one of those people that is going to tell you that, oh, do this to save your marriage. So I just want you to know that before we continue.
No,
so
that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay. All right. So I want you to the major thing I feel like is holding you back here is that at the back of your mind, somewhere at the back of your mind, you are excusing his behavior because you feel it is his culture. Do you get? Because, and that's the problem I
Yes.
usually have with intercultural marriages or all this kind of a thing, interracial or whatever. I don't care. I'm somebody who does not care about anybody's culture. If it is abusive to me, if it is harmful to me, I don't respect your culture if it harms me. Now, let's put that aside. This situation you described is not a Nigerian culture or an African culture. It is a patriarchal culture. And this is not something that only happens within Nigeria. Even with Americans marrying Americans, it happens as well.
Sure.
Men
You're right.
generally do not want to be responsible in the household. I even feel like in old America it was even worse, right? It was worse in because the whole idea of traditional wife that we are hearing these days, it's an American culture. So that a woman would just be on
Well, I only say that because
I understand it's not like I'm picking offense. I'm just telling you that so you'd get rid of that idea that maybe the problem is his culture. I just want you to stop being understanding that maybe the problem is his culture. This guy,
Well, I think because he's told me that, like
Nigerian
maybe a
men
couple
say
weeks
that to women who are non-Nigerians because he just does not want to do it, and he enjoys the fact that you do it. So he knows you're non-Nigerian, so he can. It's easy for him to just tell you that in my culture they don't do. In everybody's culture, women take up domestic labor, and men do absolutely nothing. It's in everybody's culture. So that's why I'm just telling you that regardless of what he's telling you, and he's telling you this thing now, he's telling you that in his culture, women do house domestic chores and men don't. But he's not telling you that in Nigerian culture it's forbidden for a woman to buy herself a ring
Or pay for half
or
the
pay for
wedding,
half of anything at all.
half of the bills, half of.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
And that's the thing that I've brought up before, because I've noticed, all of his friends for the most part are married to other Nigerian women. Those women really don't do anything. I mean, I don't want to say they don't do anything, but they don't contribute to their weddings. They don't pay for their own rings or own things. It's like it's only me that has done that. I
Yeah.
don't get that honor.
Yeah, that's because he's weaponizing his. Oh, thank you, Ndi Sophia. He's weaponizing your ignorance to the culture on you. So that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this guy is not going to change because already the precedent has already been set. That precedent of, oh, you are doing it, you've been doing it, now you're tired, you're complaining. He's not going to change.
Yeah.
So you're
Like,
just
why
going
should
to,
he?
you're just going to decide either you would remain there and suffer it for the rest of your life or you leave. So you're just going to have to decide. But, and I'm not going to say communicate because you should not, this is not an issue of communication, okay? Because I know that when you discuss these things with somebody, they are going to tell you, oh, have you tried communicating with him? A good person should not sit down and watch their wives suffer and expect that there are things that you prescribe communication, but this is not one of it. You cannot sit down and watch me suffer for 10 years and you think I did not tell you. I don't have to tell you that I'm suffering for you to know that I'm suffering.
Yeah.
So this is not a
I
question
think
of communication. Go on, Ola.
There might. What I am thinking as you see, I'm 2747. Me, I'm divorced, right? So, I'm not too quick to recommend divorce to people, but I will tell you this: there could be what I can think of as a silver lining that is possible, or let me say, a best case scenario to give you an option apart from leaving this person. What I can think of as a best case scenario is if you communicate and you're like, I can't continue this way, blah, 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 blah. And somehow he listens, which doesn't happen often, right? And you're like, okay, let's go to counseling or yada, yada, yada. And he actually begins to change his ways, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we dream of when we are in this kind of situation as women. Mm-hmm. He might end up resenting you.
Exactly.
Well, because his brain will interpret that as you abusing him.
Yeah, and another aspect of this is that that I have found out is that, he has a sibling, and he tells this sibling our affairs in the sense of,
I'll be right back.
in a sense.
Go on.
Sense that, like, let's just say I'm frustrated because I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm working, I'm taking care of, we have 3 children, they're triplets. I'm doing all of these things. And of course it causes arguments because I'm tired, I'm drained. And so we get into arguments, and he tells his family of our arguments, right? So that's a thing that bothers me, right? Because I think he gets enforced by what advice he's receiving, right? And so I feel this resentment. And of course, I have thought, okay, counseling. But at the end of the day, I just feel so much resentment of these situations because I almost feel like I've been a stepping stool to make his life better, right? But at the end of the day, my life has not gotten any better. I've lost financially. He will literally go out to a club with friends and stay out to 5 and 6 in the morning. It's disrespectful. I'll even be at work and he'll go out and leave me at home with 3 kids and go out. It's disrespectful. Going out to clubs till daybreak is disrespectful. But it's like, so these things happen. We get into a fight. He'll go tell his family, but of course they're going to side with him. So at the end of the day, he doesn't feel like he should change. Because the family that he has, their husbands do it. So to them, it's like,
the only problem they see with your marriage, the only problem he and his family see in your marriage is the fact that you complain, you nag.
Correct.
Right? So people like that, you can't, they are not going to change unless they have a brain transplant or something. Like, they are just not going to change.
Correct.
To them, you are the problem in the marriage. You just won't shut up and be a wife.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest. I've left my house. I left and I just literally got a hotel and I left because the straw broke the camel's back. I work 5 days a week. It's Christmas holiday. So you're seeing all these people in Nigeria relaxing, eating, enjoying. And I get off at 6 o'clock during the day. And he says to me, oh, well, you don't want to be a wife and a mother. All of these people are eating and enjoying. He's like, I just ate one soup. I only ate once that day. And I said to him, do you know I work? All of these people that are making plates of food in Nigeria, do their wives work? Just total. It's almost like I'm not a human being. I'm just a workhorse. And frankly, I wasn't raised that way. I didn't grow up seeing these things. And yeah, and it's like, okay, if I divorce, I lose. Because I'm going to have to raise 3 children on my own. And the next woman will even benefit from my own sacrifice.
So, sis, when you say when you divorce you lose, I'm not even going to disagree, right? Because divorce is just what it is. But are you winning right now?
No, I'm not.
So it means even while married, you are losing already.
Correct.
And there's no end to that losing.
There's no end.
What
There's
does it
no
even mean
end.
that you, what do you mean when you say if you divorce you lose? What does that mean?
I say in a sense is that, before I met him, I was very well off financially. I say that because into this marriage, we both work, but he's gotten us. I think it's different there, but here, of course, what your salary is, you pay a tax, right? So a lot of the money that he has made, he sent home to Nigeria to build house. This was years ago, but of course, I didn't know about the house being built, right? So my own home didn't what's the word? Didn't really advance because of that extra money he was making. He sent it home to build a house that I was unaware of. Because of that, we got into tax debt. And being a married couple, whenever there's a tax debt, it's on both people's records, right?
Yeah.
So if I were to divorce him, we have to split all debts, right?
Yeah.
So even though I didn't make the debt, I will be legally responsible for the debt.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it is due to his obligations back home. And a lot of that is due to him building a house that I wasn't aware of. And instead of investing that money in our own home, okay, I can say, okay, at least it was for good cause, right? We have debts here. It was spent outside. So it's like if I divorce, then I have to move on. I'm going to be primarily responsible for our children. And, he's going to move on with a new person, and that person will not have the same struggles I've had.
Why? Let me quickly interrupt. Why would you have to be the one who's solely responsible for your kids?
Because I will say that I'm just going based upon the history now. The history now is that I have three children. They're triplets. One is special needs. He does not know. I manage everything about my children. Their schooling, their appointments, teaching them, taking them to church. Everything I manage. The most he manages is taking them, dropping them off at school and picking them up. He doesn't even know their favorite foods.
He can learn.
He can, yeah. And that they didn't give birth to you knowing all those things too, right? You actually
You
learned.
learned that too before you had the kids. You learned on the job, so he can learn too. I don't know him, but if he's someone who has been able to hold down a job, then he's not as dumb as you think he is. He can actually learn.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But giving up.
And concerning the house in Nigeria, are you sure he does not have any other wife in Nigeria?
That's what I'm going to say. That I'm going to say that I can tell you, even without knowing you, I can tell you the kind of conversations he's having with his family and Nigerian friends. They are telling him something like, "Look at you. That's why we told you not to marry an American lady. Look at the trouble she's giving you now. Let's find you a Nigerian girl that's going to give you the respect and honor that you deserve. That's going to be a wife and a mom, and not
and be
act out
docile,
like this
yeah.
American lady."
Even if he does not have a wife in Nigeria, I can guarantee you he's planning to marry a wife in Nigeria. Even if he does not have a woman, they can quickly arrange a woman for him, even if it's not now. You get?
And the thing about the debt,
Oh, of course,
I understand how you feel about, oh, I have to be responsible for this stupid debt that I didn't even benefit from.
But even
But
if you
only
don't
it's
divorce him, you are still responsible for it.
I'm still responsible for it. And
he's not even done getting into debt. That's the thing.
Yeah,
He's not done yet.
he's not done yet.
So if he's $100,000 into debt now, I'm just throwing that number out there.
And I'll say these things, and what is inflammatory for me, and being as a woman, I always think about, foreplanning and everything, I'm Black American, right? Our culture is different, but I will say is that I have respected this man. I have respected him. But once I found out that house was built, it wasn't about a house. I don't care about you. He said he was building the house because his parents' own house is old. He can't take his children there.
So clearly he was building in the village. I'm telling you, he still has plan to build either in Abuja or in Lagos.
And my thing is that I wouldn't have a problem with that, right? But my problem is that you're hiding these things and your family knows, and I don't know, but who is here sweating with you to make this money?
The problem is that you think
when he gets that Nigerian wife, you are going to, it's your money that is going to build the house for that Nigerian wife.
And you know something? The problem is that you're thinking, Ola, she's thinking as if they are in a partnership. You're thinking as if this person is your partner in life. He's not.
Yeah.
You are just a resource.
That's how I feel.
That's not just how you feel. That is what it is.
Because I will tell you something, okay? When I found out that house was being built there was a lot of issues in my home because of it, of course, right? And so he was telling me that, that I spoke to my sister, and my sister said she wouldn't have a problem if her own husband did. I said, man, your sister doesn't even work. Like, it's apples and oranges. And then I said to him, okay, well, put the house half in my name. I can never do that. It's on my father's land. I can't it'll be in my children's name. I said, but it's from the resources from this home. Because I work, I'm a pharmacist, so I do decently. You wouldn't have even had these opportunities if it wasn't for me being able to support my own, take care of it. You wouldn't have even had that opportunity. But it's not seen like that. So if I divorce him and I say, because of course, if I divorce him here in Nigeria, I can't get anything, but I can tell the attorney, oh, he built a house behind my back. This is what I think the house is worth. They can force him to give me half. But then no matter what, then now I'm seen as a demon. You're
seen as a what?
As a demon.
As it is right now, that's how they see you. As it is right now, he thinks so about you. The fact that you are standing up to him, you are already being seen as a demon already.
Yeah. He already consider you a witch.
And I feel like, and maybe I could be wrong, I feel like he is, what's the word? Making me so fed up so that I want to leave the marriage, because maybe he doesn't want to end it on his own because that would make him look bad, right? So let me get her fed up enough so that she just leaves the marriage, and I can blame the marriage ending on her.
That is a possibility. So if that is the case, it's possible this man already has a wife in Nigeria who is pestering him that she wants to come. She's already tired. So there's a possibility he's doing that so you would divorce him and he can bring his Nigerian wife or whatever. That's another possibility, right? But here's the thing. You still have this mind from listening to you speak. You still have this part of you in your mind that you're like, oh, I don't want trouble. There's a part of you that is like, I don't want trouble, even if it's
because I mean, to be honest, you know, I was raised in a 2-parent home. You know, my parents worked very hard. I've never even seen debt like this. I've never even seen, for years, this man even refused to get into the kitchen. Oh, do you want me to make me houseboy? Eat simple dishes. Simple dishes. It's so bad. Cooking. I mean, everything is he's Nigerian man, you know, and it's just like I don't think I can work with this anymore. You know, he'll say, "Oh, well, you've never met man like me. Your father wasn't like me." So, and I'm like, my father was a doctor. Like, I had 2 parents in the house. I said, my mother, I said, look at your mother and my own mother. My own mother is older than your own mother, and your mother looks more tired than my mother. I said, because my mother I don't ever remember my mother getting off of work, cooking and cleaning, getting up the next morning, feeding all of us, bathing all of us, sending us to school, and doing it on repeat. I didn't grow up like that. Even my grandparents, this man even refused up until I left the last time to even show me what he had in his bank account, to even add me to his bank account. Like, I don't deserve to know what he has in the bank. After birthing 3 children, being there and marrying you, I don't even deserve that.
All these things that you have done, he does not see you.
I feel like another thing you might be concerned about is that if I leave him now, some other woman is going to benefit for everything I work.
Correct. Yes, correct.
I want to tell you that other woman that you have in your mind is already benefiting from your work, your money. Like, it's not something that's going to happen in the future. It is already happening.
And the truth is that other woman is not your problem.
Correct.
And that house is not I mean, I don't even believe that house he built in Nigeria is for his parents. It's probably some kind of family house where
he built a house in the village. He built that house in the village. But I'm telling you that
this house is actually next to his parents' house. When you see pictures,
it is he's in Lagos. You said the house is in Lagos.
Nigeria is he from?
Correct.
What part of Nigeria is he from?
Imo State.
That house is where his other woman is going to be living. See, I like, in my head, I'm just thinking, should I share my own story or should I share my brother's story? Like, I'm not sure what. My brother, I have a brother who is married to a German lady, okay? Or was married to a German lady. And I can't even tell you the amount of pressure that my father put on my brother to marry a Nigerian lady.
Wow.
Even after he was married to the German lady.
And even after he knew her and everything.
After they had kids. Like, they were legally married, they had kids. And
still,
my father didn't even have a great relationship with this brother of mine. They were always at loggerheads, right? Like, he left Nigeria without my father's knowledge, got married to this lady. It was after the fact that he informed my parents and said, oh, you guys are grandparents now, congratulations. And my father was still like, you don't have to divorce this lady you are married to. Just come marry a girl here in Nigeria and have kids by. Like, serious pressure.
Mm-hmm.
That my brother
was like, thank you. Go on.
Is this man, like, my brother will be sharing with us siblings that what kind of a crazy man is our father? Like, why?
But would women there actually go for that? Would they actually do that?
Yes, my dear. They see, if your husband wants a Nigerian girl today, he will get that girl today.
He will get like 5.
He will get like 10 applying for that job, even knowing that he has a wife and triplets. So
yeah, they will do that.
Wow. Okay.
They will
because here, that's not something that a woman will, you know.
Oh,
It's
honey.
just
No, there are Nigerian ladies, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 17-year-olds that would be on that queue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, someone said thousands will apply for the job. For the job. So it's not going to be a serious. My father was like, "Don't worry, just."
I think
just marry
majorly,
that
right?
Nigerian
She's still in disbelief. Like you want to believe so bad that what you shared with this man is genuine.
Well, I mean, I saw somebody comment that, oh, did you see when you were dating him? When I was dating him, it was different. It wasn't until we got married and
Did
I
you
was
give this guy
pregnant.
papers?
He was already getting them through his internship here. I just hastened it. He was already on a H-1B. He was already slated to get his green card, and we met. So but he had maybe like another year before he was to get his papers before we met. About a year and a half or so. He was already in the process of getting it, but
You hastened
it
it.
was yeah, I hastened it. Yes, I hastened it. Yes.
You gave him papers.
Yes.
This guy targeted
Correct.
you. You did not just meet. I need you to understand that you did not just meet. You were targeted.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing I just need you to understand is this. You must bring your mind to a place where you understand that as it is right now, you've lost. Do you get? What you need to do
Okay.
is to save yourself. It's not the issue of I will win or I will. No, you will just count your losses and just leave. Do you understand? Now, for
Yeah.
the house in Nigeria, you can get half of it as long as you have evidence that he has a house in Nigeria and that house was built. And I feel like you should go for that half of the house. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that will hurt him a lot. Because they will now have to sell the house, or you say you don't want to sell your own part of the house. So that would be a good way to punish him.
Well, he would have to give me more of because here it's 50-50 when you divide assets, right?
Yeah.
So it would be so that, we would have to sell the house and he would have to buy me out more of of his 50% of the equity,
Yeah, they wouldn't actually own it together, but if they say the house is worth $100,000, then he has to pay her $50,000.
The house is
Yes.
definitely not going to be
Yeah.
worth $100,000. That is what I need you to understand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the house is, but I know it's not going to be worth $100,000. But just think.
No, it's not
I
worth
just
that.
use
But
that number because it's
Yeah.
easy for math, right?
So if it is,
worth that, and
if
whatever it is even worth, it will what's that English word? Like it would make it seem even less than what it's worth.
yes,
Because I saw what my ex-husband presented to the court as what is landed properties and house and everything was worth in Nigeria. I had to laugh. Like, what exchange rate is this guy? Like, it will make it seem that is worth less than what is actually worth.
yeah, he will underestimate
Well,
the value
yeah.
of the house, because at the end of the day, the sale of the house is going to be in his hands. So he can always sell for high and rip you off of a part of it. So I don't even want you to even take the option of selling the house. You want the house.
Okay.
Do you
Because
understand?
you contributed so much, not just in terms of unpaid labor, but actual finances. Because even if you were a housewife and you never worked a day in this marriage, you would still be entitled to that. The fact that you now contributed financially just means that you are more worthy. You are that much more worthy of it.
Yeah.
I don't even want her to want to get money off of that house in Nigeria. because I want you to get back at him to an, oh my god, let me not even tell you what to do, but I know that if
Well,
that
I
house is
mean,
close
you
to his
know,
family
I knew.
compound,
Let me, and I will tell you this, and I will tell you this. I knew that he saw marriage to me differently when I saw that he was building that house for almost 8-9 months and didn't tell me, but his family knew. I knew right then that his family was first before me, and that opened my eyes.
It's not that they are first before you. You are not on the line at all.
that's what I'm just trying to let you understand.
It's not that
This
the
guy
person
does
comes
not
first,
see you.
then you come second. You don't have
You
a
don't
number
have a
at all.
number.
You don't have a number. You are the live-in maid that also sleeps with the boss, that doesn't get paid for a job.
That he
will
can also
destroy
use you
you.
for finances and other things. You are not his family.
The nanny, the surrogate, the nanny, sleeps with the boss, doesn't get paid, also is the boss's ATM, also makes the boss look like a respectable guy in public, is what you like.
She has not even Ola. She has not even gotten to this level that you're even putting her, that he makes the boss look respectable. You are just a resource and a tool.
I've never seen a woman. I mean, this is from what I've seen growing up, right? My grandparents, they had a joint bank account. They knew what each other had. My parents, same thing. But with me, I actually have to fight for my case to why I should have access to what you make. It is insane. I have to report my case to why you shouldn't. I mean, he doesn't club a lot, but he does club maybe once or twice a month. I have to state my case to why, even though you say you're with your friends, that it's wrong to stay out until 6 or 5 a.m. It's wrong. It's wrong.
User 274, I want to ask you a question. I know it doesn't sound like you have a like household staff or nanny or stuff, but just imagine that you do. Imagine that you hire a lady to watch your kids or whatever when you are out and about or at work. And just imagine coming in one day, and your nanny is a living nanny. Like, they live under your roof, they eat in your house and all of that. And then you come back one day and your nanny is like, hey, why are you just coming? Why would you just leave me home here with the kids by myself
it's
for
wrong.
4 hours?
It's wrong.
And be gone. Like, this is just so unfair. Like, this is unreasonable. And why is it that
he'll debate with me that he wasn't out with women, that he was out with friends? I'll literally look on Instagram and I'll see.
You not answered my question, no. You not answered my question, no. Like, your nanny is telling you, and by the way, you only left me $100 bill for if the kids need snacks. Why is my name not on your bank account? Like, your nanny is telling you this. Wouldn't you think she was like crazy or something?
Yes, I would.
That's exactly how he sees you.
I'm sounding like the nanny.
It's not like you're sounding. That is exactly how he sees you. You are the nanny.
You are the nanny in this story.
And I understand that this is confusing for you.
I know it's confusing. When you go tell your family that, can you imagine what my nanny just told me, asking why her name is not on my bank account? Your family is going to be like, is she crazy? Doesn't she know her place?
Literally, I don't really complain to family because that's not something that's...
Unfortunately, we are not talking about you.
We're not. You're not getting my analogy now.
You are not the one complaining. You, in this situation, you are the nanny. He is you in this situation. Do you understand?
Yeah. Yes.
So
yes.
His family, when he's telling his family that this is what you did, considering that they understand that you are the nanny, they think you're crazy for complaining. Do you understand?
Yes.
Let me tell you a discourse that has been going on within the Nigerian male space in recent times. They are bragging online that non-Nigerian women, that's American women, are sourcing for them because they do well in bed, and American women believe that they are providers. So they are that they want to all snub Nigerian women so that they can focus on American women. Do you understand?
Yes.
These men target American women because they say a lot of American women know the value of men. And by knowing the value of men, American women are willing to submit. They are willing to cook, clean, bring their money, feed the man with their money, do anything for the man with their money. Do you understand? So the man has to do so little for an American woman to appreciate him. This is a discourse that they have even made public.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. So I just need you to understand that even your children, that you think you have children with this man and you think it is something special and it is something you should hold dear in mind, those kids do not mean anything to this man. I'm so sorry. Because I have heard Nigerian men say, if you never born with woman for house, you never born pikin. What that means is, if you don't have children with a Nigerian woman at home yet, the wife abroad, you don't have children yet.
That's the reason my father was putting pressure on my brother to marry a Nigerian lady. And it was like, your wife doesn't even have to know. You don't even have to take her to Germany. She's just going to stay here in Nigeria, have babies for you, and we will look after her.
Whatever you want to come up with, whatever decision you need to make, right? I don't know how old this guy is. He sounds like somebody in his 40s, approaching 50s.
Yeah, he's 39.
Very soon to be 40. Every Nigerian man that you see outside of Nigeria is not in Nigeria, is not in that country to live there forever. They are there in search for greener pastures. If you're meeting these men outside of the continent, outside of their own country, right? You have to understand that you are looking at a desperate man who has the tendencies to do anything to make money so that he can come back to his country and retire. Do you understand me? So anything can be used as a tool to achieve this dream of retirement. If you go to the market, assuming you go to the market and people are pushing each other, oh my God, your markets are not like Nigerian markets. But what will I?
I'm wondering if she has. Have you seen the picture of this house he built in Nigeria?
Yes. Yes.
Did he show you or someone else showed you?
Oh, you're asking like how I found out?
Yeah.
No. I just want to know if you actually.
Yeah. So, we have a shared computer, and I just was walking past it and I heard a ping. And so I opened it and it was an email of pictures from like the builder. I don't recall, but maybe another family member that was like with the construction crew. And the cement, like the foundation was, and I remember seeing like in the background his parents' house. And so I just went and man, that's when I found out. And I literally went to an attorney's office that day.
Okay.
Because literally I had always known that he wanted to build a house in Nigeria because he said that his parents' house wasn't that good, you know? And so he was always telling me, yeah, not right now, I'm going to wait, not right now. So you're telling me not right now, I'm going to wait. I have other things I want to do, but it's already being built, you know? And I again, it's not about the money or it's about the fact that you can hide something like that from me for so long. What else could you do to me? It's the principle, you know?
Do you know why he would tell you that house is for his parents? So that he can play on your sensibilities that, oh, he's doing this for his parents. That house is not for his parents. It's not. he can't tell you that he's building a house that he can keep another wife in or something.
My own is just be ready to fight. It's a good thing that you already have a lawyer. Gather any evidence that you can gather, okay?
Okay.
And be ready to fight, because as I'm listening to you right now, you sound forgiving already.
No, I'm not forgiving. Like, I'm literally in a hotel right now. I left him with the three small kids at home. Somebody's asking his position in the family. He's the only son, and he only has one other
Worse
sister.
than
It's even worse than what we are even explaining to you.
It's worse than what we were even thinking.
It's worse than what we were thinking.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm giving him 3 sons. So yeah.
You did not give him 3
That man
sons.
doesn't have kids yet. You 74. That man doesn't have kids in America yet.
Does he travel to Nigeria yearly or once in 2 years?
No, he's only, so we had our wedding there and we had it here. He's only been, I want to say we've been married for 10 years. He's been there 3 times. He went there for a funeral of his cousin's mother, and he took my son there for his 2nd birthday. And then when his mother got sick, he went. So 3 times.
You know, I'm really concerned that, number one, this guy is from the eastern part of Nigeria. Number 2 is the only son.
His cousin's mother, and he's going for the funeral. And then his son's birthday, he's going for. Okay.
Well, I mean, I will say the funeral was real because I was on FaceTime with him.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're not saying it's fake.
When
It's
I
just-
think it's so real,
Let me tell you, if I'm outside of the country, right? If I'm outside Nigeria, even if my uncle dies, I will not come back. The possibility of me coming for my own parents' funeral is even slim.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Even if my father dies today, I'm not going anywhere. I live in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Just investigate him having a family or trying to get married in Nigeria again. Something around, investigate that. And then I need you to understand that you're going to need to fight, and you are going to fight dirty. Don't think as if you're going to do a Christian fight, a Jesus fight, a forgiving fight, or God will fight for you. God is not going to fight for you. Do you understand me?
Yes.
You're going to fight it yourself without mercy. And then you are going to teach this guy a lesson so that he does not, at least he will live to tell the story for other people to learn. Do you understand? So that any of your sisters will not have to fall victims again. No emotions. Put yourself together and understand that you're in a terrible situation. This person has used you for 10 years. Do you understand? And if you don't leave, you're going to be more in debt. You might end up facing bankruptcy. Because this guy has not finished. I don't know, you said the house is in Lagos. If he's building in Lagos, it means he has to build another house in the village. So he's going to, and the houses they build in the village is usually bigger than that in Lagos.
Yeah, the homes they build in the village are literally mansions. And then once you start building that one in the village, we don't even know if he's already started in the village.
And you don't know where, it's just the one you know.
We're assuming he hasn't started. And then when
He hides things. He hides things. I mean, he hides his phone. You know, he doesn't want me to see what's in his phone. That was an issue.
They've probably laid the foundation for the house in the village already. They've not even started building it. And then when he's done doing that, he's going to start a business in Nigeria with your money.
Just know that go and fight.
Your loss now.
You've not started losing.
You think you have now, the loss has not even started. Whatever debt you think you might have to share with him now, the longer you stay, just multiply that debt by 10 or 100. And we are just talking money here. We are not even talking about the the emotional damage and
The
everything.
matter is so depressing for me because I don't want to say I regret my children or I regret anything. But
That's
I
okay. If
had
you feel that way, this is a safe space. You can go ahead and say
Okay.
it.
I had options. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I didn't grow up poor. I didn't grow up. It's not like he opened up a new life for me or anything like that. I was doing very well, enjoying my single life, and it's when I met him, he was taking care of himself, cooking, cleaning for himself. He joint account, all this stuff. But it's like once that money on his end started to add up, then that's when all these little peculiarities came up, And it's like at the end of the day, now I'm stuck with 3 kids, I'm 1 year older than him. I'm 40. How can I start my life over now from where I started?
Ola
I
is
can't.
40 as well. And she's
I'm
already
40 too. And I wish I could tell you my story, but we don't have time for that today. I'm also 40. My divorce got finalized 2023. And I when you are reluctant to leave, I totally understand that, because I was reluctant to leave too. And mine was so bad that I was literally going crazy with health problems, taking months and months off of work because my health had gotten really, really bad. You are a pharmacist, right? I was on blood pressure medications. Those blood pressure medications quit working.
That's where I feel like I'm getting to.
I got to a point where I just knew that if I continued this way, I wouldn't live to see 45.
Yeah.
And that was the only reason why I left. So I was that stubborn. And now I just beg women, don't let it get that bad before you decide to leave.
And it's crazy now because he will cry, he will beg. If I say it, if I tell my mother, she'll be like, oh, well, he's not cheating. But it's not about cheating or not. It's about the deception. It's about, like, I feel like these kids are on my shoulder. Like I'm a single married woman. Like that's how I feel.
when you divorce him, you can share custody with those children. So at least all the burden does not have to be on your shoulder anymore.
Yeah.
The reason I can even be on this live and be hanging out with women is because I'm divorced and I don't have to have my kids 100% of the time. I get to actually breathe every now and then, which was something that I never got to do while in the marriage. I get to actually love on my kids now because that marriage was getting me to a point where I would snap at my kids.
And that's where I'm getting. And the main reason why I haven't filed divorce sooner is that I know of account how he takes care of the children at home. He's not neglectful, but certain things a parent will know. Children get meals 3 times a day. You foreplan that. Certain things, they get baths every night, especially with my special needs child. I know that he will get tired. He'll just get a woman to be doing it. He won't pay attention to if that person is maybe abusing my child. That's what.
Yeah, but he's not going to have the child 100% of the time.
Aside from that, let me explain something to you. Once you've had a child with a man, do you get? Once you've had a child with a man, I need you to understand something. You may have the way you've pictured how the kind of life you want for your children. Do you understand? But because
Yes.
you did not have that child by IVF, like taking somebody's sperm that you paid off the person and had the child has a legal father. Do you understand?
Correct.
So that man has a right to raise his children also the way he wants to raise them. Do you understand? So it is
Yes.
not only within you, and you have to understand that everything about that child will not be within your control, especially when
Correct.
you
And
and
that's
this
hard.
person are getting divorced. No matter how hard you are trying right now to give those children the life that you want them, they are not going to get it, because this guy is going to try to use those children, especially now that you love these children. I am here, I've not met you, but I know you love your kids so much. Do you understand?
Yeah.
This man
Yes.
has lived with you, he knows how much these children mean to you. So the one thing he is going to eventually, do you know how he's crying now? You can see him crying now and begging you, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you begin divorce proceedings proper, you are going to see a whole new monster that you have not seen. This is the best of him that you're seeing. Do you
Correct.
understand me? So he's going to use anything as a tool, as a weapon to fight you, and that includes those children. So the way you are,
That might sound
But
crazy.
but the
because-
problem with that is I've said to him, look, maybe I am not right for you. Maybe you need to maybe marry a Nigerian that will understand or maybe process things differently like you do. I will not give you problems. Let's split this stuff and we go on our way.
but
It's
unfortunately,
You wanna do
that is not
though,
what he
because
wants. That is
the
not what he
Nigerian
wants.
woman, he
Don't-
doesn't want that, because the Nigerian woman is not going to split bills within 50-50. He's going to, like, why would he want to take that option when he can have you and use your money to maintain the second wife?
Oh, he
And
doesn't
I-
use my money. He doesn't use my money.
He's
But the
using
thing is,
your money, my dear. If you are splitting bills with him,
He's using your money. And let me
he
explain.
pays the mortgage. He pays the mortgage. He pays the mortgage. He pays the cars.
What do you
But
pay?
I pay groceries. I pay for my special needs child's needs. I pay my own bills. I have my own bills.
You're paying
you know?
more bills than this guy is. You're paying more bills. Feeding is the most expensive bill in a household.
It's
And you don't-
expensive.
You
Yes.
don't consider your unpaid labor as bills that you are paying.
No, I do. And
Okay,
that's
so-
what I've been trying to break into his head, that I'm doing more. If you had a nanny, you'd be paying.
So that's what we are telling you, that this guy is still using your
That's what
money.
we mean by he's using your money. Okay, maybe if you don't want me to say he's using your money, he's using your blood, sweat, and
Yes,
tears.
but I told him, I said, you want a stay-at-home mother and you want a provider. I can't be both.
You are providing for
both.
this guy's second wife. You are providing for his second family.
Now this guy is in debt that he's going to have to share. You are going to have to pay a part of that
Who is
if you're
paying for that? Yeah, so when you say he's not using your money, I feel like you haven't fully understood what's going on here. Please, if you are not following Timmy on YouTube, please go and follow Timmy on YouTube, so that because TikTok Live is not recorded, but just so that you'll be able to watch this again on YouTube, because I even feel like, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, I mean this as someone who has survived abuse. 80 to 90% of what we are saying right now
It's not sinking in yet.
It's not sinking.
No, it stinks, but it's hard.
It's hard.
hard.
I'm so sorry,
Follow
it's hard.
Timmy on
Believe
YouTube,
me,
please.
you guys
Follow
are
Timmy.
saying everything right. But it's hard because I can't start over.
You can.
You can. 40 is young. See, there are women in the support groups that I belong to that have left at the age of 65. Some have left at the age of 58.
Let
And
me
guess
tell you what
they did after
remaining. Let me tell you what remaining will do. If you remain with this guy,
I literally,
right?
I literally have a special needs child that's going to be with me forever.
I'm so sorry. Let's just give her a second. Give her a minute, a moment too. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. You can cry. Feel better.
But, it's very hard because I've seen like chats of him talking to family and them saying, oh, marriage with Black Americans, it doesn't last and things like that. But things don't last because of this. So it's like I've tried so hard, and it's like, if you literally, like, I'm a pharmacist, it's very demanding work. It's very demanding. So it's like when you get off of work, you're so exhausted. And then you still have to cook for your children. I don't believe in my children eating out every time, right? So it's like you do that, and then you get off work, and then you have to cook, you have to clean, you have to wash dishes, your house is a mess. I didn't grow up like that, And then it's like the only time you have relief is when, let's just say, his mother or his aunt comes here and they help you with the household things. That's the only time you have relief, because this one isn't reliable,
User 274, is there, it doesn't have to be your real name if you don't want that, but is there like a name I can call you by? Because I don't want to call you this user 27.
Yeah. No. My name is Angela.
Okay. Angela, I am giving you a virtual hug. I was married 11 years. I don't have special needs kids, and I am, I feel like burnt out, and so I couldn't even imagine.
Please don't tell her she's lucky she has kids. It's not luck.
It's not luck.
What
is
the
not
meaning of
luck?
that, please? Please, I don't. Look.
It's hard. It's
Because
hard.
it would have been so much better if she does not have children.
I've muted that, please. I don't have tolerance for nonsense.
And it's hard because I know how much I almost died having my kids. So you do these sacrifices as a woman, and then for someone to literally, not even see you as a human being. They don't see you as a human being because they see you suffering. Like, they see you suffering. And they're like, oh, well, women do everything. So, and I'm like, if I would have married you talking that same thing you're talking, I would have never got myself into this situation. Never. But it's like, to think that a man can just literally do all this to you, move on, and even probably have less stress and a better life than you. It's
painful, I understand.
Angela, do you know why that brother of mine did not take my father's advice, and why he never married a Nigerian woman? I just want you to take a guess. With all the pressure my father put on him to get a Nigerian wife and have children by her, do you know why he never did that? Angela, are you thinking?
Yeah.
Just take a guess. Why do you think he never did that?
I would say he never did it because I would think he loves his wife. I would think that he doesn't want that stress. Like, he doesn't want to. That's what I would think. Like a normal human being,
He doesn't like Nigerian women. He doesn't like Nigerian women. He considers Nigerian women inferior to white women.
Okay, because he has own twisted sense of thinking.
That's how these men think. We just project, as women, we project
our behavior, our thoughts, how we project our thought pattern on men.
Correct.
He had a long-term Nigerian girlfriend, and he left the country. I'm just sharing all my family's dirty millions here, just for you to have an insight into how sick these men are. He had a long-term girlfriend. That girlfriend was so good to me back then, because this brother is a whole lot more older than me, like Mm-hmm. 14 years older than me, so I was quite young when he was having girlfriends. And he had this long-time girlfriend. I even overheard one time, even when I was a young girl myself, that this girlfriend aborted for him. I just knew they were going to be married. He just disappeared. Like, this girlfriend didn't even know he was going to Europe. He just went to Europe, married this white lady, and that was the end of that. He never considered marrying a Nigerian lady.
Mm-hmm.
And then the way your husband behaves, like just go to clubs, acts like he's some single guy who doesn't have kids, is the exact same way my brother acted with this nice white lady that he married. And you know, that lady, even though they lived in Germany, she tried her best to just be the best wife, best sister-in-law. She would send me gifts.
Thank you, love you.
She would do stuff.
Yeah.
All of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He just never got his shit together. He just, you know, lived however he wanted to live and left. Thank you, Lawi. Left all the, you know, raising the family to this woman, and she communicated and communicated and communicated. Do you think my brother cared? No, because that's how his father did, and his
Aisha,
father's
thank
father,
you.
and his father's father before him.
Great, thank you.
And none of their wives left the marriage. He never cared until one day that woman couldn't take it anymore, and she's like, I'm done. And of course, he cried and he begged. Now, this story I'm telling you, I got it from him, not from his ex-wife, okay? He cried and he begged, and she said no.
Yes.
And then he went and tried to get her parents to manipulate her into staying too, and they were like, you
Sorry,
guys
I'm
are grown
coming.
adults, we're not going to get involved.
Eh?
Mm-hmm.
And then she left him,
Okay, please answer her.
and he's been remarried again now for a few years, and he married another white lady. And yeah,
Shine, I'm going to mute you. You don't tell us what to do here, okay?
You see how easily they move on, you know?
So he's remarried now, and I mean, their kids are older now. Their kids are in their 20s. She too has a boyfriend. I don't know if she married him, but she too has a boyfriend. Yeah. So it did not take the Nigerian wife, not because he's some responsible guy who loves his wife. No. It wasn't about that.
Wow.
But then, I am not Igbo. I'm from a different part of Nigeria than your husband is. And yeah, that part of the country where he is and I can understand, even without you telling me, I can sense that you put your all into this marriage because you didn't want to be a stereotype. You didn't want to be,
I didn't want to
prove
Nigeria
that stereotype. That Akata marriages don't last. You didn't want to be that. So you did more than you would normally do if you had married an American man just because you wanted this to work.
Correct.
But it's like fetching water into a basket, unfortunately. No matter how hard.
The fact that
try,
he's even
Misha.
saying those things, he knows you are trying. Do you get? It's just that you're never going to try enough. This person has, yeah, he's not even trying to make it work with you. Do you understand? He doesn't care if it works or not.
No, his needs come first.
Yeah.
He built his house. Whether I liked it, whether I knew it or not. He's going for school, whether I want it or not. He's doing all of his needs and desires first.
Yeah.
And when he's
And
crying and begging you to stay, he's not crying because he loves you. He's not crying because he loves his children.
He's crying because he's going to miss all these benefits.
He's about to lose a source of income, is what he's crying about.
Or losing money.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's what is painful for him. It has nothing to do with you or the children.
Well, now I
And then I'm telling you that
Awesome.
even this version of him that you know is the best version of him that you know.
This is the angelic
This is the
version.
angelic version. So you have to be ready to fight. You cannot be tired of fighting. Do you understand?
Correct.
You cannot be tired of fighting. And then in whatever way, you can come to the live every now and then. We go live mostly weekends, Saturday, Sundays. So you can come to the live and get a little bit of relief, okay? But then just know that this is what you're dealing with, and it's a good thing that you have a lawyer. So you guys, I may not be able to
And
bring other people up again because my time is fast spent.
if possible, don't even
So
discuss
what
with
should
me
I
about
do?
leaving
Do
the
you
marriage
think I should
anymore.
just proceed with the attorney
Yes,
and take him unaware?
yes.
Or do you
Yeah,
think I
don't
should
announce your
reason with
intentions
him?
anymore.
You said?
Do you think I should just take him unawares, a foul, and you know, if it's nasty, it's nasty? Or do you think I should sit him down and try to reason with him and tell him, let's do divorce the nice way instead of the hard way?
You
It's not
cannot.
going to be nice.
You
Only
cannot.
because this is
If you go and tell him that, you are telling on yourself. So you're telling him how much he should
shot
be
yourself
prepared.
in the foot.
Yeah, so you don't tell him let's do divorce the nice way. It's never going to be nice. It's never going to be
You
nice.
can't, you know, there's this temptation or this, is it a temptation? Like there's this belief that we have that the person we knew, the person we saw and was like, okay, I'm going to marry this guy, that person is still in there somewhere. And if we can just appeal to that version of him, maybe this can go smoothly. That version of him does not exist.
Exactly.
That
That reasoning that you think he can be reasonable, he doesn't have that. So you're wasting your time. Go ahead and continue with your attorney, okay? And then also know that you protect yourself as much as possible. You avoid contact, avoid conflict or whatever with him for your own safety. Do you get? I know that you said he is not physically abusive, but you never know a lion's strength until it's hungry.
Okay. All right.
And I'm so sorry that you had to
Thank
go
you.
through all of that.
Thank you all so much for understanding me. I really don't have anyone else to talk to about this. You know?
That's okay. You can come back
But thank
anytime that you need to talk to somebody. You can come back. That's fine.
All right. Okay. Take care.
All right. Take care of yourself. If you have any
Follow
questions,
Timmy
you
on
can,
YouTube.
yeah, you can DM.
Follow me on YouTube because there are some things that we've said during the course of this conversation that when you watch this again on YouTube, you will hear something new that you didn't hear the first time.
Okay. I've been getting you guys requests, but unfortunately because this particular issue, there are a lot of women with experience, especially on this page, right? So if I want to accept everybody, we will not go today, and then I was actually supposed to end the live by 5:30, so I just stayed back because she needed to talk. So
And I feel like even if we are not bringing everyone up, there are there's pieces of advice that we've given Angela that someone in a similar situation can also learn from and make use of. I know people always believe that, oh, my own situation is kind of unique. You need to hear my own nuance and backstory and everything before you can. It's not. It's usually not that way. There's still something that you can learn from another person's experience, and now that person was advised or coached or whatever you want to call it. But I'm telling you, I am in multiple support groups online, and I have seen women live at age 60 and then go and get a PhD. So, when she's just saying, oh, 40, where do I start from?
And I even wanted to tell her this, but I forgot. If she's still here, right? Right now, you have your family, because she sounds like her family is awesome. So you have your family who are going to be able to support you now. The longer you delay, your family may not be there for you much later. And at the end of the day, a marriage that is bad is bad. Time doesn't heal it. So even if you don't divorce the person now, later on you will still need to do it.
Yeah, there's a lady in my support group that is close to 60. She has a daughter who is disabled, right? So our other kids are grown, right? But this one that is disabled is dependent on her round the clock, and she's still left. And it was hard. And because she was married to someone that, paid all the bills. This was not even a 50-50 kind of person. She was married to someone that paid all the bills. The guy had a very good, paying job and all of that. And now that she's divorced, she's, she has to downsize her lifestyle, or how do I put it?
Yeah.
But she's still happier, right?
Mm.
So I could go on and on. I know another one that they were practically living on a farm. Like her husband was very wealthy. He owned this big farm. She was living the
ballerina farm.
Ballerina life, essentially. Now she lives in a tiny 1-bedroom apartment, and she's happy.
And I'm telling you, you're only sad and angry because of how you feel and what has happened to you. If you give divorce a chance, right? You don't know how much you are missing until you get to that point. So like in a year time, in 2 years, you will look back and you'll be thankful you did that for yourself, honestly. See, if people have good relationship, right? People usually think I am just pro divorce, and then so one guy had commented to ask me, and he was like, have I ever spoken to any couple that they eventually fix their marriage, or I'm just about breaking people's marriages? Listen, let me tell you something. A lot of people who say they do marriage counseling and they bring these people and say, okay, you apologize, when those people leave, it's not like those relationships solidify. Those problems, they just either learn to live with those problems and just wait for the day they pass. You get? Divorce is not always a bad thing. And I'm telling you, if I hear a situation that the marriage is okay and I feel like they just need more communication, or they need a little bit of counseling here and there, from the first few challenges the person mentions, you already know that these people, is not like the relationship is that bad. They can actually fix it. But this is not one of those cases, and rarely will you even see those type of cases. Most marriages that you see now, that they will tell you, those marriages need divorce, nothing else. So we are just trying to patch, and at the end of the day, is these women that they are trying to force to live with men that are very unreasonable, men who are after their lives. They force women to try to remain with this kind of men. Exactly.
You know what makes women sick, and what unalives women even more than the abuse they are going through, is hope.
Yeah.
We don't talk enough about how hope unalives a person. We always think hope is a positive thing. There's this what's this, Leslie Vernick. Angela, you might want to check out. I'll give you 2 book recommendations. Actually, I'll just give you one. That's my favorite. Check out I'll type her name in the comments. Natalie Hoffman. Natalie Hoffman. And the title of the book is It Me? Please get that book. Natalie Hoffman, Is It Me? And I'm telling you, your marriage will begin to make sense to you. Because it might seem like, now, the person who wrote that book actually lives in your home and sees everything that happens. The reason we can tell you the things we are telling you today without knowing you or knowing your husband is because it fits a certain profile. It fits a certain profile. The way all these criminologists, they can profile a serial unaliver and all these things is the same way we can figure out the profile of a person by just sharing a few things with us, and we're like, oh, this is the kind of person this one will be. This is how this person will show up in divorce. This is how this person will behave.
And I'm telling you, even the Nigerian woman, because you feel like if he marries the Nigerian woman, that one will enjoy. That one is coming to get abused as well. Though. She's not coming to enjoy. She's coming to get abused as well. If that will if that will make you feel better, I'm telling you, she will get, her own will even be worse than yours, because he still has fears in him that if he does anything, you can report him. He can lose the benefits he's getting from you. For the Nigerian woman,
Can you pin? I don't know if I can pin something here. Can you pin the? She tried to pin the title.
Okay, I'm not able to. I don't know why I cannot. You can just screenshot.
Yeah, is it me?
I'm not able to pin. I don't know what the issue is.
And she also has a blog too. Like while waiting on, it's on Amazon. And while waiting for it to deliver, you could just Google Natalie Hoffman. She has a blog. She has a podcast called Flying Free. So on that blog, you can read some articles there while waiting for the book to arrive. Free blog. And the author is Natalie Hoffman. Natalie stayed for 22 or 23 years, and she had 9 kids, and she still left. At the time she left, I think only 1 or 2 kids, or 1 or 2 of the kids had left the home. She still had like 7. And she still left. And not only did she leave, she's remarried. Somebody saw her with 7 kids in the home and still.
You know that a lot of men will just be like, nobody will want you with all these things. And like, men don't really know men. No, men don't know men. I'm telling you the truth. Sometimes a man will come and be like, no man will want you with this, your no submission. My dear, 1,000 men will want you.
Yes, it's like, I'm divorced with 9 kids, and it's like, will you be my wife?
It's just that a lot of those women that get divorced and remarried, they usually don't come online to say anything. A lot of them, out of the respect they have for the person they are now married to. But we have a lot of them coming on this live sometimes to share their story. So they come and tell you, oh, they are remarried to a better person now. It's just, usually we have them on Saturdays or Sundays at night. But
and you know, the fact that, she stayed in that marriage for long, the abuse really, really affected her children.
Welcome.
The abuse affected her children, the ones that have psychological issues or addiction, all of those things. And the man knew all of that, and he's still like, let's be a family. And he supports her in dealing with all that drama. So, oh God.
Okay, you guys, I have to go now. So sorry, Angela. Thank you for sharing your story with us. All right, see you guys.
No one will want you. Please don't think no one will want you. I wasn't even fully divorced yet. I was getting offers for dates.
I'm telling you.
The reason I'm still single is because I'm tired. I don't even want any man under my roof right now.
One of the things that women need to understand, men were sleeping with turkeys. Like when I mean turkey, like turkey that they used to use to cook jollof rice. So why on earth do you think you are a woman and men will not want you? Men are sleeping with goats. They are RAPing goats.
Sleeping with corpses.
They are sleeping with corpses.
In the morgue, in the mortuary.
There is no woman that cannot get a man. I'm telling you, there is no woman that cannot get a man. All right. Men are the cheapest. Men are the cheapest thing to get. Men are really cheap to get.
We might talk about our topic some other time for the single ladies.
Yeah, we'll still have to come back with the topic later. All right. Good night, everybody. Have a good evening. Wherever. Bye. Well, I will plug my phone and disturb you again.
I'm going to sleep. Bye.
If I call, don't pick.
20 euros.
The men in your village are really expensive, Otofumi. 1K in my village, 1,000 naira, I can get a man.
Me, I don't even have to spend money.